Yo guys, it's slyroh. You already know that today I'm going to be recapping week 41 of my 2025 video game backlog journey. Link in the description if you need the full explanation to the spreadsheet and the games on this list. I shouldn't have a super long video for you today, but I do have plenty of little things to talk about in terms of the games that I played this week. So as always, I'm going to format this video by recapping the previous week, talk a little bit about what I played, any things that happened. Then I will dedicate a section of the video to dive a little bit deeper into each of the games that I played that week. And then I will preview the week ahead in terms of what I expect. I really only have one big announcement, well, not announcement, but one big update to the list as we see here. So where I left off, I sort of was accepting the fact that I'm probably not going to finish this whole backlog by the end of the year, and that's okay. I'm making my peace with that, but I do think that I can get closer than you would expect, and that is because I did clear out one big game, and I finished Neo, which is super exciting. That is going to take these 64 hours off, and I believe that we should be down to 665. I think that is where I'm at, which is super exciting. So Neo, very long game, very hard game, and it's something that I've been playing for a while. And I feel like not having that opens up a huge chunk of free time. In terms of the other games on the backlog that I've been playing, I did not actually put any time into Fable 2 over the past week. I just didn't really get a chance any time that I could have played Fable 2. I really just turned that to trying to finish Neo. I really wanted to be done with Neo. I sort of got close, and then I just motivated myself to just keep at it until I beat it. So Fable 2 just kind of got pushed to the wayside, but now that that is not there, I think I'm going to be playing a lot of Fable 2 in the future. I did a little bit of Disco Elysium. I did one play session where I got a little bit further, and that's still going well. And then Fire Emblem Echo Shadows of Valencia is probably the other game that I played the most on my backlog. Probably a couple hours, a little bit further, and I definitely have some things to talk about that. And then for new games, I'm not diving deeper in the next section of the video, but I will just do a brief overview as to what sort of things took up my time. I continue to play Date Everything for the playthrough on my channel, which is still going strong. I played a little bit more of Tales of Iron 2. I feel like I did a couple quests, and that is going well. A little bit of Sonic Racing Crossworlds. The games that I definitely play the most is A Seat Taken, which I actually just completely finished earlier today before recording this. So that's super exciting. That is a game that is complete. And then Drop Duchy is a game that I've been playing a decent amount of. Super fun, like, strategy Tetris game with, like, resources and battling, and I don't know, it's super fun, very addicting, and I don't really see like an end to it. So it's it's kind of like a roguelike game. Where, you know, you just keep doing repeated runs, unlock things for the future, and I mean, I guess maybe I can unlock everything and that would count as an end, but yeah, that's I'm trying not to have it take up too much time. And then I didn't actually play any of the other new games, so I mean, I have Hades 2 on the list. I haven't actually started playing it. There are other games that I have my eyes on, such as Ghost of Yotei. I'm thinking of playing 100 Line Defense, Last Defense Academy. I was going to do a playthrough of that on my channel once Date Everything was over. I might still do a playthrough of it. I might try and just do both of them at the same time. So those are some 2025 games that I have my eyes on and either plan on playing or have been playing or whatever. And so that is taking some time away, but I still have been able to play a decent amount of backlog stuff, which is super exciting. And then, yeah, I don't really have anything else to report on over the past week. I've had plenty of time to dedicate towards gaming. And that is super exciting. So yeah, I guess I'm just going to go ahead and move right into the next section of the video. Because like I said, I don't even think it's going to take all that long. I don't have anything to talk about Fable 2, so I really only have 3 games to talk about. And I'll start with the big one. We'll start with Neo, because that is the game that I finished this week. It is a game that I've been playing for what feels like a couple months now. I don't know what my final playtime actually came in at. I think I did it in under 50 hours. But when I say that I beat Neo, there's sort of a main game, but there's also a bunch of, like, DLC, side missions, New Game Plus, all that, and I just did not mess with any of that. Neo became a little bit of a slog towards the end, to where I just, you know, stuck to the main missions, got what is considered, like, the main ending, beat, like, the final boss and all that, and I consider that good enough. And yeah, I am excited to play Neo 2 eventually, because I just think, from what I understand, it's just better. So I think that'll be helpful. The thing with Neo, especially towards the end of the game, a lot of the main missions, like the level designs, each level is like pretty unique and they are distinct from each other, but each of the levels look a lot like themselves, meaning that like it's very hard to navigate for me through a lot of the levels. I get myself turned around. I will run in circles. I will miss like very they're not even always obvious, but sometimes like I'll miss like a door that's like hidden in a corner, or like, oh, there's a breakable wall, or not like wall, but like there's obstacles that you can break to like get through and go to like some secret part of the level. It's just really easy to get myself turned around. The combat wasn't, I mean, I reached a pretty good flow state with the combat. A lot of tools at my disposal, and I didn't get stuck in that sense for too long towards the end of the game. But definitely the level design and sometimes the layout of just how many enemies. Like, there definitely were times where I was just running through enemies because trying to stop and fight every single one and get yourself outnumbered like 10-1 just wasn't worth it. So yeah, it was a little bit of a slog at the end. Definitely with some time away from the game, I will end up having an overall positive opinion on it. But in the immediate aftermath of like, I really just forced myself through to the end. There are a lot of little things that I think that Neo could have done better. And I'm hoping that those are improved in Neo 2, because like the level design, it was literally started to be like every single mission where I just got lost. And there's like a glowing thing on your map that's supposed to point you in the right direction, but a lot of levels have like, it's just not as easy to follow. It's not like a very clear-cut map system. So, I don't know. That's definitely a major downside. Also, like, the final boss specifically, you stop having the shrines and stuff, and instead you're, like, praying at, I don't know, something that, like, it resets your health and whatnot, and your items, but you can't, like, change any items out. You can't level up. You can't do any of that stuff. And so I'm like going through this final level with like 400,000 or like whatever, and I can't use it for anything. So it kind of feels like you have to do the entire last level like without dying if you want to use that. But then once you do the last level, unless you're playing DLC, then that currency doesn't actually mean anything. But it was kind of weird because I like reached the final boss. I was having a little bit of trouble, and I'm like, oh, what if I like reset my build to like, you know, make it a little bit better? But there wasn't an easy way to reset my build without like completely doing the entire level over again, which I did not have any desire to do. So there's things like that where sometimes you run into bosses where you don't even get a chance to like actually swap out your equipment to make a more optimized build. So some things like that I didn't like. I am just kind of rambling, but these are just sort of my immediate thoughts. Overall, game was very, very good. It's very much in my wheelhouse. Very fun, like Souls-like type action game that does enough of a unique thing on its own, you know, to stand on its own with its own identity. I am looking forward to eventually getting to Neo 2. That is a game that I will probably play in the future at some point. And then Neo 3 comes out next year, which, you know, hopefully I like Neo 2 enough and I'm not burnt out to the point that I never want to play Neo 3. So, you know, that is on the table for the future eventually as well. So that is super exciting. But yeah, that is basically all I have to say about Neo. I think I've talked about it enough. It's a really fun game. It's a longer game, and I was able to complete it to at least my satisfaction, and that's exciting. So, yeah, let's go ahead and move on to another game. I really don't have much to add on to Disco Elysium, so I'll just pop in there. But Disco Elysium, I got to the second day, and there are some things that sort of happen. There's a couple of things in terms of like there's new people that show up to talk to. There are some checks that are basically impossible on the first day that if you go and do it on the second day, it's like a lot easier to do, which also opened up a lot of options. And so now I feel like I have so many options in terms of things to do in Disco Elysium, and that was some of the problem that I was having on the first day, like in-game, especially towards the end of the first day in-game. So that's super exciting that things are just happening. I love that. And yeah, like I'm having a good time. Just putting a little bit of time here and there, and hopefully that works well enough to sort of get through it. But yeah, I don't really have anything to add on, other than it is still going, and I would say going strong. But the other game that I have the most to talk about today is going to be Fire Emblem Echoes Shadows of Valentia, because, you know, I feel like I always just forget just how much I like Fire Emblem, and how much the core base gameplay of Fire Emblem is just really fun, and, like, good for me. Something about just like the grid, the weapons, the weapon triangle, which I don't even know fully if the weapon triangle is in this game or not. I've been operating as if it does. but I don't actually know that for sure. And Shadows of Valencia has like some interesting, unique components in terms of like there's a little bit of like these dungeons where like you're not like fully walking through. Well, you actually, there are some parts where you are fully walking through, which is unlike any other Fire Emblem game. But you sort of like navigate maps in a different way. Like if you go into a dungeon or whatever, like there'll be a screen of people and you can talk to a person, or you can like move to like another location. Kind of like an adventure game, or like a point and click adventure type thing. So you're not always walking physically from like one place to another. Sometimes you're just like using a menu to navigate to different places within like a dungeon or something. So things like that is very unique. I think something that I had said last time, where the characters like didn't have classes and they were just using like sword and lance and things like that. So pretty much immediately after that, I learned a little bit about changing classes, and all of the starting units you can sort of put them into just about any class, which is interesting. I don't know if all the characters are specifically built to be better at one class than another, but I just put all of them in a different class, and you know, I said I guess I'll just figure it out from here. So that was exciting. But yeah, so now the units do have like classes which do help shape more of an identity for them. All the weapons so far still are very much just like sword, bow, axe, lance. Like there aren't like special weapons. I don't know if there ever will be, but that's been something. It's been fairly easy so far, but there definitely was, I think, the most recent chapter. There is some pretty, I wouldn't say like strong enemies, but just like a collection of like bow units and like cavaliers that have like crazy high movement, and turns where I have to take like 2 to 3 attacks, which, you know, is possible, but it's very easy to get a little overwhelmed potentially if you know, are leaving units in bad spots. There was definitely one time where I thought I was going to lose, and I haven't lost a battle yet, but I feel like I'm getting close to being in that part of the game where if I'm not careful, the enemies are going to be strong enough that they can probably take advantage of my mistakes. So that'll be exciting to really delve into the full sort of like level design, game design of this specific Fire Emblem game. So, because right now it's still been a lot of like introducing you to concepts, introducing you to new classes, characters, the story, all that sort of stuff. But it is fun. Fire Emblem is fun. You know, it's something that I'll definitely keep playing here and there. It's fairly easy to just do like a quick battle here and there. So I feel like it's a game that I can make progress in pretty easily, which is exciting. And hopefully I just don't get like stuck. But yeah, characters have like more classes and a little bit more of an identity. Weapons aren't like super special yet, and I'm just starting to breach the part of the game where they have like unique like levels, and they're gonna probably start throwing in like gimmicks and obstacles to work around. So that'll be interesting to see how that works. But yeah, that is Fire Emblem Shadows of Valencia right now. I do know also, I haven't gotten to it yet, but I'm pretty sure you almost play with like 2 different armies, like one with Alm and one with Celica. I haven't been reintroduced to Celica since the very intro of the game, so I'm assuming that might be the next thing that happens. I don't really know. And also right now, I will say like healing is a little bit weird. I only have one character that can heal, and it's just a lot of healing to keep up with, and there's not like a lot of like, I feel like in other Fire Emblem games, it's like really easy to find like vulnerarities and concoctions and things like that, and I have not found nearly as much in this game. But maybe I overlooked something, or maybe the early game is just pretty light on healing items. So that was the most recent chapter. Was it was a little difficult with it wasn't difficult, but I had a lot of units like getting like at half health or like below half health, and I was like, there was a lot of units that needed healing. I didn't have enough healing all of them, so I mean I just kept them out of range and whatnot. It all worked out. But yeah, so that's just some observations that I have so far, but I am having a good time with the game, and that's all I can really ask for. So I'm gonna go ahead and wrap up that part of the video, and we are just going to recap the week ahead. The week ahead does see me having plenty of time able to dedicate to gaming still, specifically over the next couple of days. I think without Neo, I do think I don't have a game that I feel that I'm like miles and miles away from being able to finish, and I think that is going to help motivate me to play some of these other games a little bit more consistently. Things like Fable 2 and Fire Emblem, I think those are going to be the 2 that I play the most consistently, and I'll pop into Disco Elysium every now and then, because it is a fun time, but I don't know, I feel like just need to be in like the right headspace for it. So that's the only 3 that I have right now. And then most of these, so like in terms of the new games, like Tales of Iron 2 has like a definitive like stop and like ending. Like Drop Duchy doesn't really, Sonic Racing doesn't really, everything is kind of limited to me and my playthrough time for like recording. And then Hades 2, I don't even know if I need to fully beat Hades 2 to have like enough of an opinion. I think I am going to start Ghost of Yote soon. That's going to be sort of the big long game that I'm playing at the moment, I guess. But I think that should make it easier to just do little short spurts of like a couple hour sessions here and there. And before I know it, I'll be done with Fable 2. I'll be done with Shadows of Valencia, so that's exciting. I think I will probably end up starting another game at some point, specifically on the PlayStation. I have less games that I'm playing on the PlayStation right now. And so I was definitely feeling like, ooh, I want to play something. If I'm not feeling like playing Tales of Iron 2, I want to play something else. The problem right now, not the problem, but what I think might happen is Tales of Iron 2 is kind of like, I mean, it's 2D, but it is like action game, you know, very focused on like combat and like skill, whatnot. And then Ghost of Yote is also going to be like combat focused and like using skill and whatnot. And I don't know if I just want like another like combat focused game like on the PlayStation. Like when I think of like, I don't know, like maybe a little bit of Attack on Titan, like Forspoken is almost a little bit the same way. Hollow Knight is like on the fence of like, I feel like it's very still like combat focused, but I kind of want to play it anyway. But I almost want to play something that's like a little bit of just a different vibe than those, which could be like Jak 3, even though that might be pretty combat focused. But I think like that's just like a different vibe, or like Life is Strange. But I kind of want to play Life is Strange 2 before Life is Strange True Colors. I don't know if it actually matters. I don't think the games have anything to do with them with each other like narrative wise. But I still kind of want to just play them in order. But right now at my PC, I feel like it's very easy for me to find games. Like I have Disco Elysium. I'm playing Fire Emblem at my computer. Hades, Drop Duchy. Like I'm at my computer playing games like a lot, and adding like another PC game just doesn't seem very feasible right now. So yeah, I'm not entirely sure. I don't know that I'll add that much, but there is a chance. I've definitely thought about like just throwing on like Dead Space, Forspoken, Jak 3, maybe even Okami, but I don't know. I see that 41 hours. I'm like, if I want to start it, I want to be able to finish it. And yeah, or Uncharted 4 as well. I've considered that as well. So there's definitely a chance for another PlayStation game to be started from the backlog. I don't expect to add another Steam game from the backlog, and I don't expect to add another Xbox game until I'm done with Fable 2. So that is what I'm looking at right now. And that's really all I can offer right now, because I don't want to make too many promises about games that I might be able to start or might not be able to start until I, finish some of these. So that's kind of where I'm at right now. I think things are going pretty well, and that is all I have. So yeah, feel free to leave any comments, questions, concerns on the list, any games that I talked about today, or any games that I still need to play, whatever you've got for me, I'm all ears. But I'm going to go ahead and get out of here, and I am going to, get to gaming and doing all that stuff. And I don't have anything more to talk about. I'll see you all next week. Next week will be week 42. So we are definitely closing into the end of the year, and it's going to be here pretty fast, I think. So that's kind of exciting and, nerve-wracking all at the same time, but that's life. So I'm going to get out of here, and I will see you all around in the future. Goodbye.